school because he's forming a plan to start a small mafia group there. Once school is over, Belle begins to walk back home while a car with 4 teenage boys follows her around, asking her to hang out with them. At first, Belle refuses, but soon she gets lost in town and decides she may as well accept the ride. The boys, however, instead of taking her to her house, take her to a spot by the lake where teenagers usually hang out. Belle asks them to take her home, but the leader tells her to stay and relax before lowering the strap of her dress while his words are full of innuendo. Not willing to let them get away with this, Belle returns to the car to grab a tennis racket and uses it to beat up the boy before telling the others to behave more respectfully towards women. Then she takes the boy's car and drives it back to her home. Meanwhile, Giovanni goes to the property gate to smoke a cigarette, which he isn't supposed to do. He quickly notices there are FBI agents hidden nearby keeping an eye on him, and decides to go back inside to investigate the glass garden shed. After tossing a bunch of stuff out, he finds a typewriter and, seeing as it still works, he thinks it's finally time for him to write his memoir, describing how he took over the family business started by his grandfather decades ago. When he stops to take a break, he meets his neighbor through their connected backyards, and makes up a story about being a writer when he's asked what he does for a living. Later in the evening, while the family is having dinner together, they're visited Robert Stansfield, the FBI agent in charge of their case. After giving his approval of Giovanni's writer story, he asks him about a shop owner that disappeared recently, and Giovanni tells him he doesn't know anything about it, when actually, he killed him because he sold him some seafood that he claimed was fresh but it was actually frozen. This is the body he had in the trunk when he arrived. Stansfield reminds him not to get into trouble, and before leaving, he tells him that the FBI agents that will be protecting him from the house across the street are DeSicco and Mima. Then Giovanni joins her wife in bed and has a nightmare about the barbecue party he threw many years ago, which was the occasion Lucchese had chosen to strike. The following day, when Giovanni gets too distracted by his writing, Maggie demands to know what he's writing about and freaks out when she hears it's a memoir, since that could get them in big trouble. Then she grabs a tray of food she's prepared specially for DeSicco and Mima and leaves to take it to them after asking Giovanni